Hello everyone, today we are going to be making some fish and chips, some perfect fish and chips based on a recipe by Heston Blumenthal, I believe, but I don't know, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, so today we're going to make some fish and chips because who doesn't love fish and chips, right? Aussies love it, Kiwis love it, Brits love it, South Africans, probably everywhere in the world loves fish and chips, right? It's a great dish and I can't wait to begin making these fish and chips. So let's get started, shall we? Okay, let's begin making some fish and chips. So to start off with, we are going to do the chips because that just takes the longest and most amount of stuff to do with that. So yeah, let's get out some potatoes and start with that. What you do is just peel these and then cut them up into 5cm pieces. Yeah. Alright, here we have our chips, our thick chips. And now what we're going to do is we are just going to wash the starch out of them. Pretty standard procedure when working with potato and making chips is to wash the starch. Just rinse it out in cold water. So that's what I'm going to do now. Put it in a bowl and do that. Alright, now that they have been rinsed of the starch, we're going to put this in a pot with some water and bring it up to a gentle boil. So I'll bring out the induction hob and we'll get that all going. Because we're going to do like it's meant to be thrice cooked, but I might just do twice cooked. So we'll do a first boil to get it kind of cooked on the inside, and then we'll make it all brown and crispy on the outside when we deep fry it. That's the plan. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'll bring out the induction hob and let's begin doing that. Let's begin, shall we? So yeah, just bring it up just to a nice gentle boil. Almost before I forget, we add salt into it as well. So yeah, chuck some salt into here as well. Okay, so we have a bit of a different mic placement now. I've decided to take it off the camera and put it on a magic arm, so we'll see how it sounds. First time trying, hopefully the sound isn't too bad. I will have to check the audio afterwards. So yeah, as you can see, might bring it up a little bit, but yeah, it's still going. Still just bring it up to a gentle boil. We don't want it to be too ferocious and make the chips fall apart. We just want it to be kind of fairly cooked, and we want it to have tears on the outside of our potatoes. So yeah, just a little bit longer. Okay, so I think we're basically around where we need to be right now. So let's turn this off. Let's transfer them onto a wire rack. Drain off a little. I'm going to get something a bit bigger. And there we have our chips. Parboiled, I suppose, is the best way to call it. Not fully boiled. And yeah, we're just going to let this kind of dry off a little and then chuck it in the fridge for 1 hour. Okay, so we have a plate here and we have flathead fish is what I've opted for today. You can do gummy flake, I think, as well. Cod is what the recipe calls for, but I couldn't find much cod here in Australia because the recipe is British. The Heston Blumenthal perfect fish and chips, or his way of doing it. There is our flathead, which should provide which is recommended to be a good fried fish to use. So that's what we are going to be doing. And we are just going to be salting it. So this is kind of a brine. It will firm up the fish as well as season it, which is kind of a double whammy to make it a bit easier to fry. I wonder if I should make it a bit smaller pieces. Oh no, we'll just do it as is. There we go. That's the fish. So we just gotta leave this in the fridge for about an hour along with our chips. So yeah, both of these just going to go into the fridge to just dry up, firm up, and season. And then, so yeah, in about 45 minutes or so, I'll start making a few of, maybe half an hour, something like that. I'll start making the tartar sauce. Super simple tartar sauce, which we use to dip the chips in, and also the batter before we begin doing all the frying. So yeah, see you in a bit. And I'll chuck these in the fridge, and I'll see you in a bit. Okay, next thing we are going to do is we are going to be making a tartar sauce. Sort of tartar sauce. I've got a recipe, but I'm going to be going a bit off the recipe because I can, and I think I have a few other ingredients which will make it good as well. So yeah, I'll get out the ingredients And let's begin making our tartar sauce. Super simple. Alright, first thing we're going to add to the tartar sauce is some mayo. The recipe calls for a cup, but I'm not going to be making that much of the tartar sauce, so I'll just put in whatever's in here, because it's just me. That should be good. Better be safe than sorry. I don't want to run out of sauce. Yeah, that should be good. So I don't know, maybe half a cup there, just by having a look at it. Next, we're going to be adding in about a teaspoon of lemon juice, so I'm just going to give this a little squeeze. Yeah, that's about it. And give it a bit of zest as well. About a teaspoon of that. So if it's about half zest, yeah, that should be good. So about a teaspoon of lemon juice, or half a teaspoon and half a teaspoon of zest. Then we're going to be adding in some chives, so about half a tablespoon. So we'll just grab half of this and we'll just finely chop. Okay, that's all the chives we need. Get that in. Next up, we'll chop up some pickles. I don't know how many we need, but yeah, we want to finely dice these pickles or cube them or whatever it's called. There's a specific word when you get them nice and kind of cubed, but small cubes. Okay, there's some pickles. Maybe half a tablespoon or tablespoon. I don't know. As I said, I'm not really doing any measurements. Next up, we are going to be doing half a tablespoon of pickled red onion. The only reason I'm using the pickled red onion is because the recipe calls for just onion, but since we're already adding some pickles and a bit of onion, and I think the pink flavor will be quite good with it in general, so that's what we're going to do. So we're just going to finely chop some of this pickled onion. Yeah, it should be good. Okay, some pickled red onion. Chuck that in as well. And then I think one of the last ingredients is some Dijon mustard. And we're just going to add in, I don't know, maybe a tablespoon or maybe half a tablespoon. I like my mustard. We'll do a tablespoon like so. All right. Obviously season it with some salt and pepper. All right, let's give it a bit of a mix. Oh, actually, I forgot one thing. Vinegar. And we're going to just do a touch of apple cider vinegar. Now we mix. Can I just give it a bit of taste? Oh, that's going to be good. That is good. Exactly what we want. Very tasty. And that's our tartar. Pretty simple, quick and easy. I'm just going to leave this in the fridge until we need to use it. And next up to the next step, which I think is going to be making the beer batter. Okay, time to make the beer batter. So with the recipe, I'm probably going to do a third of the recipe because I did try this once before, failed kind of miserably, and the audio was trash with the recording as well. So redoing it this time about a couple months later, and yeah, I had way too much batter. So we're going to do a third of the recipe I'm using. So recipe calls for 200 grams of rice flour. I'm going to do about a third of that is about 65-ish or 60, I don't know, roughly around there. Well, so yeah, this is rice flour, so about 65 grams to 70, oh, that's okay, of the rice flour. Then a similar amount, then equal amount of all-purpose flour, about another 60 odd, or a bit more, that's okay. Don't think it matters too much. Then about a third of a tablespoon of baking powder. Yeah, it's good. I think it's baking powder. It says baking powder. Good thing I probably should double check before adding it in, but you know, whatever. Yeah, so that's all the dry ingredients, so we don't need this anymore. Okay, just give this, I'll give the dry ingredients a bit of a mix. Okay, that's pretty good. Now, we're going to be adding some interesting stuff to this now. And this is apparently what makes things go real crispy. So to this, we're going to be adding in vodka. Very special ingredient. We're also going to be adding in beer as well, so it's not just vodka. The vodka is a replacement of the water, and it fries up very quickly because it just sort of evaporates all the alcohol that's in the vodka. So it's much good. So yeah, 100 mils of vodka, and then a third of a tablespoon of honey. I think honey is mainly for just the coloring of the batter. And last but not least, Pilsner. And I have a feeling that I shook this up a little, so we shall see. Oh. Yeah, and then 100 mils of the beer. The beer goes in last to keep some of the carbonation. Gotta drink some as well myself. And then we mix this together. And this should form a nice batter, I hope. It's a bit doughy at the moment. Yeah, so I'm gonna add a bit more vodka, a bit more beer, until I get a nice batter. So yeah, I'm going a bit off script, because I think I might have put a bit too much flour of both, so I just gotta add a bit more of each. Yeah, that's looking like a batter to me. I just add probably a bit more, can't hurt, just to make it a bit more. Yeah, there we go. And it doesn't matter if it's a bit lumpy, that's okay. And that's our batter. And with this batter, we're just gonna leave it in the fridge until we need to use it, which shouldn't be too long, because now we begin frying. And we're frying up the fries first, doing the first cook of the fries, maybe the full cook. I'm not entirely sure how we do it. We will do it though. Fry up some beer battered fish as well. So yeah, I'm just gonna try and leave this into the fridge where I can, give it a bit of a clean, bring out the induction hob, and let's begin deep frying stuff. Very exciting. Okay, here we have our oil heating up. We've got our new fandangled candy thermometer in there, so we can also check the temperature of the oil to be where we need it to be. Okay, so new plan. We're not going to do the chips next, because apparently part of the recipe is we cook it at a low temperature, get it golden brown, then chuck it back in the fridge. I don't really want to do that. That's a lot of waiting around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the fish, and then fry the chips, and just do like a parboil once fry instead of a thrice fish, because overkill. I think you got to find the balance of getting the best chips, but also not doing it overkill and having to spend too much time just for some chips. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. So we're going to do our fish first. So yeah, we've got to heat this oil up to 220 degrees Celsius or 350 Fahrenheit. So it's probably going to take a little while to get there. And yeah, and then we'll fry the chips. Hopefully I didn't put too much oil. I guess one of the benefits of doing it on induction, because the last time I did it on the gas, if you do too much oil and there's a bit of spillage, that is danger town. And we don't want to be in danger town. So it's a little bit less danger town doing it on an induction hob, because there's no open flames. But that being said, still got to be careful, and hopefully nothing goes wrong. Yeah, so yeah, we just got to wait for it to heat up to the desired temperature, and then we'll start doing our fish. Okay, so it's roughly almost at 350 now, just a bit over. I don't really know how to keep it at that temperature, but it should be okay. We are going to make our first batter. So you can't see me, I'm just battering up the fish now. And alright, hopefully this might go a bit crazy. So we got to be alright, let's see how this goes. Bit scared, but let's go. Oh yeah, not too bad. And then we drip some of that on. Okay, so that didn't turn out too bad. I'm pretty happy that it didn't go crazy. And now we'll just let it cook until it gets a nice golden brown. So it's lost about 10 degrees Celsius of temperature, so it's not too bad. It didn't go as crazy as it did last time, so I'm happy for that. I'm happy. You got to be careful. I think one at a time. I think I did too many last time as well, because I was eager for some fish and chips. And yeah, we just do this for the remainder of our fish and chips. Well, fish, and then we're just gonna crank it up a little bit more and then do our chips. And then we are done. Not much to it really. A little bit longer, I think. Okay, I think next one we'll add a bit more batter to it. I think that's what we'll do. We'll add a bit more batter to it. Alright, that looks pretty good. Alright, I'm gonna put this on just a dry rack, wire rack, and let's do our next one. Have a bit more on this one. Let's go. So yeah, this one went a bit harder, for sure. Now I do like having the candy thermometer there, so I can just keeping the eye on the level of the oil. It's good. Oh, this is looking mighty cool. Batter crumbs, little splats everywhere. That's okay. Not too much more left on this one. Couple more seconds. All right, I think that's good. Drain, transfer it to the wire rack, and let's do our final piece of flathead. Well battered up. There we go, last one in the bath. Very cool, very exciting. All right, not too much longer left on this piece of fish. I think we're good with this fish now. Let's give it a bit of a scoop. Look at all that crispiness and the wispiness there. That is cool. It's on the wire rack as well, like so. All right, get rid of some of the other dregs. This means we can get out. Now we're going to increase the heat a little. Well, it's at that stage now. Nice. And we are going to be adding in our chips. And I think we'll do half at a time. We'll see how this goes. Yeah, half at a time I think is where it's at. And we're just going to make these nice and crispy and golden. Look at it go. See if this becomes my best chips yet. We shall find out. I think we're getting pretty close to bringing them up a little bit longer. All right, I think that's pretty good. That's not bad. I'm happy with that. Give it on a rack. I only get some actual racks. These are not the best. All right, and let's do our last lot. Oof. Look at it go. While the chip's on the rack, give it some salt. So once this lot of fries is done, we'll plate up and then we'll taste test. Simple as that really. So I'm pretty excited though. Here we have our fish and chips. Look at that. That actually looks really fucking good. Be careful not to get too close to the oil, but yeah, look at that. I'm so keen to give this a taste test. We've got our chips there, we've got our fish, beer battered fish, flathead, and we've got some tartar sauce there to wind it all off. All right, let's give this a taste test, shall we? Because, oh boy, this is exciting. So here we have our fish and chips. I mean, look at this. That looks so good. Got a bit of little lemon. Let's chuck it on the fish. And let's give it a taste test, shall we? So let's just grab a chunk of the fish. Just try it by itself. The flathead, amazing. Begin with, really, really good. Crispiness, the beer batter is tasty. Let's try with some tartar sauce. This is good. Holy crap. Tartar sauce just adds that kind of creaminess, but also acidity to it, which cuts out all the kind of fattiness and oiliness of the fish. Oh my god. So good. So good. Let's try some chips now. Not the super crispy chips I would have liked, but you know, it's something. It's something. So you've got to perfect my chips. Maybe not doing that thrice cook or that pre-deep fry in the lower temp before doing the high temp, kind of, yeah, made it not go super crispy like I would have wanted. But with all combined, and a tartar sauce, really good. I gotta try some of that more of that fish. Man, it's just so good. I think having good fish for the beer battered fried fish, deep fried fish, is essential. Because that fish is so tasty. I think the seasoning with the brine seasoned it all as well. Got that nice saltiness, got that like nice taste to it. Texture is amazing, and the crispiness and oiliness of the beer batter is so good. The fish, 10 out of 10. Chips, got to do some work, and the tartar just brings it all together and makes it the perfect, such a good meal. So yeah, that is fish and chips, a classic, especially in summer like it is here in Australia. That's that. Thank you all for watching this video. If you like this video, maybe go check some of my other cooking vids. I've done quite a few recipes now. If you like this video in particular, give it a like and comment down below anything you liked about it. Yeah, thank you all for watching. Peace out.